Well, that sure is a nice woodshed. At least I think it turned out okay. 100% recycled materials, y'all. Did you watch the video on that? It's over on the main channel. Get over there, check it out. Ivy's Family Factotum. So, welcome back to the Scuttlebutt with Ivy's Family Factotum. So, if you're new here, we thank you. We appreciate you. Welcome to our journey. So, this is a side channel to our main channel where I jump in Monday through Friday. Just kind of give you a little behind the scenes action of kind of what's going on. That's one of them. And part 2 of that video didn't do so hot. And even though, numbers wise, we're still okay. But the first video did a lot better than the second one. And I don't know. And I do need to start moving all this wood. But I broke my cart, man. So moving a lot of the materials for that thing, I was using that little cart that I pull behind my trusty steed, which is the Pull & Pro riding mower. That's broken as a mower, but I just use it as a little lawn tractor. And now to move all this, I either have to just use a standard wheelbarrow or just move it by hand, which from where the pile is here to where the woodshed is over there, that's a lot of steps because it's about 100 feet away. Yeah. And Max, are you doing okay, buddy? He's not getting around a whole lot right now, so actually, I'll throw that in from earlier this morning, and we're going to keep an eye on him, but let's roll that beautiful bean footage. What happened, Max? What happened?
It hurts and I can't get up. Oh.
Yeah. So we noticed this morning that he was limping, and don't know exactly when it happened, but we have noticed that his feet have been a little red.
But it's like a normal red where.
Yeah. Yeah. Not terrible. Well, yeah, not. Obviously, he's not broody. The hens, whenever they get to be broody, right? Obviously, the same thing. So whenever chickens are broody and laying eggs, right? Roosters, especially these, they have parts of their feet, the outside part of their feet that gets really red. And then obviously if there's a lot of rain, a lot of mud, they can get bumblefoot. Well, we're going through, we don't think he has a bumble though. We actually think he broke a toe. Because one of his toes, not the middle one, not the big long one, but the second, the one next to it on the inside, it's kind of hard. I don't want to make him hop around, but that one was actually really, really, really black and purple, and it's crooked. So we have them all wrapped up. We have them neosporined. We even gave him an Epsom salt bath, let him soak for a little bit. I just held him, and we'll just continue to see how he does, I guess. So we'll make sure that we're giving you all the update, because he's not food. He's a pet, so we're going to take care of him the best we can. If it's something that we can't take care of him and it looks like it's getting worse, then we'll take him into the vet. So yeah, there we go. So he's all wrapped up, and he's been doing okay. He's been leaving the bandages alone. He hasn't been out walking around a lot. He's been taking it easy, so that's good. Staying close to the food. We have food there. His water, I could probably bring water closer so he's not having to go too far for water. And obviously Giggles has been taking care of him. Huh, Giggles? You're making sure he's okay? Yeah? Okay. Just keep an eye on him. Yeah. And then, man, we're in this massive heat wave still, so with that being said, right, we got some projects that we really, really, really need to do. And man, it's just been so dang hot that I don't want to be out here doing it. And as of right now, I'd said the other day or yesterday or the other day, Gladys had a pretty bad flare-up of her eczema, and just being outside in the sun, obviously it does affect that, and being around things that she's allergic to, like chickens and cedar, right, doesn't help either. So with that being said, a lot of these projects right now I have to do by myself. So yeah, and that just it kind of it does affect you, because whenever you're out here trying to do stuff, projects wise, and we got this place as a couple. We want to work on it as a couple and do things as a couple, and then we can't do that because one of us gets hurt, or one of us, just something happens. It does affect the other person, right? Obviously, because, and I know that y'all would like to see her a lot more often, and yeah, being out here trying to do a lot of these things, I enjoy her company. I would like her to be out here, and I know she would like to also do it as well, be out here working and, getting together our property. But whenever she's down and out because of medical conditions, it just makes it tough on everybody. So, but I do have fencing, right? So I'm going to start getting stuff prepped, because I have a come along. I have a way to be able to stretch fencing. So for that, I want to make sure that I'm getting all that knocked out. I do have some stuff, so kind of a little behind the scenes, right? So this whole fence area here, right, how I have the one wire going across, right? So I'm going to kind of do that still going that way as well. That wire is going to be going all the way around. And that will also help with the tension of the fence itself, right? Because I have the fencing there in the box. And then, but how I have the braces here on this corner, I still have to put the brace that way. I still need to put a brace over yonder ways, which eventually there's going to be a gate down there. So where the gate is on the side of the chicken coop, a lot of that stuff's going to change, right? Because we're going to be doing an extension to the chicken coop. So where the building is, where the addition is going to be, is on both sides. So it is going to change up the fence a little bit on that side. So I'm only going to be running the fence basically to the big post, but I do need to put in some bracing, and then there'll be some gates and stuff like that eventually that we're going to do, and yada yada yada. But I still got to do posts all along the back side, along the creek side. This gap right here is actually too far for that style of fence, so I do plan on putting in a few T-posts, right? So we're gonna have the cedar and T-posts. I'll probably do 2 here. I'll do 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, right? So it gives it that, to where it'll be cedar, T-post, T-post, cedar, T-post, T-post, cedar, T-post, T-post, right? All that goodness. So would it be cool if it was all cedar? Yeah, sure. We have the cedar for it. And because of the weather, right, which right now the weather's been perfect for digging holes and such, but I do think it will look okay. And if you didn't check out the other video, yesterday's video, we had talked, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know. All these days kind of blending together. But anyway, with that, I talked about, the additional paddocks that we're wanting to do. So all this area right here, right, eventually is going to be a road. So between the fence and the power line, there's going to be a road here. That's where our bridge is going to sit, right there. So that footbridge is actually going to get moved to that side eventually, so we can still utilize it and then be able to build. I do have a few trees over there that's probably going to have to come down because I'd like the bridge to stay straight, not at an angle, but to be straight. And then the road will have to curve a little bit because the opening, so I don't know if you can kind of see, there's another power line over here, and the opening on the right side of that power line, that's where the gate is going to be, right? Coming in off the road. So with that being said, all of this area over here, right, to where our fence line, because our fence line basically is right behind where the woodshed is, and that goes all the way down to the road. And then we want to be able to include all of that for animals, right? Which is going to be, we had said that the front part of the property is like my mom's area. This part of the front part of the property is mom and dad's area. Well, guess what? All of it is ours. And right now, a lot of those things have changed, right? Plans have changed. Mom and dad said they were going to stay here full time, and as of right now, they're not. And then my mom and grandma were going to move, and then they decided not, right? Well, my mom, she still wants to move, but grandma's not. So all these things, right, have changed plans over the last year. So, but we still want to be able to utilize all this land. So we're going to repair fencing. I'm going to have fencing, but then I want to be able to have fence here, right? Basically come and connect to this post. We're going to have the other fence going that way. Okay. But I want to be able to have an additional fence. Yes, it has to go across the creek. So I'll have to come up with a way of having a fence go across the creek. So it allows water to go through it, but animals not. So there's a special way that you have to build that, right? And then same thing over here, but it's a little more challenging on this side, having a fence going across the creek, because the water flows this direction. And if you're trying to keep animals over in that area, and those areas of the creek, whenever the water flows, you need a portion of that fence to be able to move with the water, right? So if animals know that it can move this way, they'll just walk right through it, right? So it does make it a little more challenging, which I'll kind of look into a few different options if you have something that that would work for that. Otherwise, we'll have to have this whole area fenced, and then have an area in the front fenced, and then all this fenced along the creek, and then have all of this area, which I still plan on having shop area over here. Sawmill area will be over here. And then, obviously we have the pond, which originally was a stock pond for cattle, right? That's what it was built for. So being able to have, just animals, whether it be sheep, goats, cattle, just whatever we're wanting to do, we want to be able to get stuff fenced off and allow them to come through here. But then at that point, either you got to put in a gate or some type of, a cattle guard on the ground to where they can't walk through there and access the road. Okay, so that's all stuff that we're looking at doing. Oh, and check this out. When I was cutting grass, big old snake skin. So I do know that there's a hole right here. And I know I've seen the snake go in there. I don't know what it was, but it's a pretty good sized snake. And I've seen it come in and out there. So every time I cut grass, I'm always carefully watching that hole, because I don't want it coming out to get me whenever I'm trying to walk through there. Because I've only seen it, right? And I want to say that it's just a gray, it was like a rat snake. But there's a good chance that it could have been a cottonmouth of what I've seen. So if it's some type of venomous snake, obviously I want to make sure I'm always making sure that I'm aware, right? And I do the same thing. I've told the kiddo, I've told Gladys, but they don't always remember stuff. So I do want to be able to fill that in and get going. I've tried putting sticks, I've tried putting rocks, I've tried filling it in with dirt. I've done other things, and it constantly gets reopened, constantly. So snakes are strong, y'all. They can move stuff if that's like their main den, and I'm pretty sure there's other holes available for them to get in and out. But if that's the main one, they're gonna get out. They will get out. They know how to dig and do all the other stuff, right? So anyway, that's it. That's what we got going. We're gonna be working on fence. Gonna be working on moving firewood. I got to split up some of that firewood, and I don't have a way of doing it other than old-fashioned splitting wedges and splitting maul. That's it. So that'll be fun. That's a workout I don't really want to do in the heat. So I'm sure I'll just move some stuff, just kind of pile it up, at least get it out of this location. That's the biggest thing, is I want to get it away from this location so we can work on that project here come hopefully very soon. So that's it. My VA stuff is hopefully on the it's in review, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's it. That's what we got going. Fencing, chicken coop, and hopefully by next month, I know we've talked about it, hopefully by next month we're going to go look at getting the tractor. So we'll see what happens. All depends. But anyway, get out there, thank a veteran with every chance you get. Not only on Veterans Day. We'll see you tomorrow. There you go.